Yeah, Weeks End Live with Ryan and Graham. Here we go. Hey, folks, it is Friday. Happy Friday. My name is Graham. With me, as always, let me turn that way, is Ryan Boyles, and we are here to have a little bit of fun. It's been a
Oh
long
yeah.
week.
All right.
Damn.
Man, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, brother.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. I think
Okay.
we have a packed show today,
We
so
do. We do. A lot of nerdology and geek stuff to share, which is
a lot,
always
a lot,
fun.
a lot of. I love your shirt, man. What's on your shirt this week?
Um, it's the Megazord from Power Rangers.
Oh, right.
Go Go Power Rangers. I was doing my Go Go Power Rangers dance when we
Oh,
started.
nice. Yes.
That's my Go Go Power Rangers dance.
You know what? I was more of a Voltron guy coming up,
Oh
so but
yeah,
I can appreciate. I can appreciate the blueprint.
I
I've got
love Voltron.
this is the video game T-shirt I get the most compliments on. I don't know why, but everybody from 80 to 8 identifies with it when I'm wearing this out in public.
I like it. I like it a lot. I have way too many T-shirts, and over the years, like I've tried to purge them, but it's
Yeah,
bizarre how like every T-shirt, I'm like, nope, this T-shirt is important. No, this T-shirt
I
is
know, I
important.
know. I've
No,
actually got a folding system in a way that I've arranged them in my cabinet now.
you,
That's
you.
both functional for my OCD, my nerd OCD, and also satisfies my wife's need to purge and have the right balance of all that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
You. Yeah, clever guy.
I
Hey,
know. We'll share that on
let's
another
get into it.
show. And I want to just give a little tease. The
Oh.
last thing we're going to share on this episode is going to have a bit of a throwback for you, Graham, and I think you're going to be excited about it.
Ooh, I like it. Speaking of throwbacks, what's going on this desk behind me right here?
Oh
I
boy.
don't know,
Oh
but
boy.
I got a couple of new toys to share.
Who are you going to
Shall
call,
we?
Graham?
Okay, so the first one I want to share is really, really cool, and check it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, is it? It's blinking. Oh my god! I didn't
Yeah.
know it had light up features. That's
It,
amazing.
no, it has more than light up features. So you know how you and I both have the plutonium case? Mine's actually right
Yep,
here on the ground.
yep,
It
yep.
actually came with a little plutonium case, which I
Oh
thought was
yeah,
really cool.
that's reason enough for me to buy it right there.
And Doc and Einie, which I thought was great. And of course, don't worry. There we go. Marty's driving. So this is my Playmobil, man. I just love Playmobil. So that's a cool one. And I think you also have a DeLorean, if I'm not mistaken. But I
You know
I
what?
think
Yeah,
well, there's no setup here, people. We didn't plan any of this
there's
advance at
no
all.
question. Yeah.
Oh, Lego!
So check it. You know what? I'm gonna say right now. I think you might have the edge. This has no light up features, but this is
I
minimalist. This
know.
is one
I
of
know.
those. I forgot what Lego calls the series, but it's where they have this is like a fan submission that they made into a legit kit, and you can only get it.
Oh,
Uh,
like on the idea site.
yeah, you can only get it on the Lego store. Here's the
Oh,
cool thing. Wait for it. Look at this. The wheels. The wheels rotate down into sequel flying mode,
yeah.
and it's got the trash compactor on the back.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I guess, I guess,
Oh.
I guess we're different but equal here. But I like Doc. Doc looks like he's freaking out.
Doc has my Thursday at 4 p.m. face.
Yeah, and then on the other side we have Marty just along for the ride with
Nice.
everything is awesome face.
Nice.
But
Give
I mean,
me
it's nice and compact, and
It's really nice. I love
it's
it.
you know
I
it's
love it.
nerdy. It's nerdy enough.
It's nerdy enough. And I've got one more Playmobil that I want to share with you, and then I'm going to tell you why I like Playmobil so much. Are you ready for this one? Oh my God. Hold on. I got it.
Uh oh. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now, I would like to point out that
I
Annie
like.
Potts is driving, which
Oh,
is pretty
nice.
cool.
That's a
Yeah,
neat.
but this is also cool. So this one has all kinds of cool stuff.
Well,
Let
I
me tell
just
you why.
anytime I hear that siren, that's
Here, let me do it again. Ready? Here we go.
there's nothing like it.
You know, so Why is a 45-year-old nerd collecting Playmobil? Besides the fact that they're just cool models and are fun to have on display in the office. I'll tell you why. I'm glad you asked, Ryan.
Yes.
When I was a little kid,
You tell.
I used to go camping with my parents. Go ahead, show the photo.
Okay.
And I would be a little miserable from time to time. I had an older brother and older sister who were minorly pains in the ass to me. And I would be stuck in my parents' station wagon for like hours and no, other picture. We'll come to him in a second.
Okay.
I'd be stuck in my parents' station wagon for hours and hours and hours. And one time I think we were driving across like Saskatchewan or something in Canada, and we were in the car for just some ungodly amount of time, 13 hours or something nuts, trying to cross the plains of Canada. And at one point, I was really struggling, really antsy, just having a hard time. I don't know, let's just say I was probably 6. And we pulled over to get gas, and my dad had gone into the gas station. He bought this little Playmobil motorcycle, and he brought it out. And man, it just had this big impact on me. I don't know why. I mean, it was just, but it like solved the problem. My imagination kicked in. I was imagining this little motorcycle. And now, of course, I'm like desperately trying to find them. Look at that guy. Well, so that is the station wagon. That's my Ocean Pacific. I don't know why I wore it, but you can see me totally miserable. Nice. You can see the laundry. By the way, that tent that's in the background is in my garage right now and is being set up this weekend. Same tent. Went through 35 states and every province of Canada when I was a kid. It'd be funny to zoom in and see who took the picture in my glasses, but you can see how miserable I was. So anyway, a few years before this, my dad gave me a Playmobil motorcycle, and now I'm searching eBay trying to find it. But that other picture you showed, let's go back to that one.
All right.
So this other picture, this is a gentleman named Andy Marini, and Andy was a firefighter in Northampton, Massachusetts for 23 years. And when I was in high school, I don't know, I was probably 15, 16 years old, somewhere around there. I got to know Andy. He was dating my sister at the time, and he had this really cool off-road truck. It was a red Toyota. It had these giant swamp tires on it, and he took me off-roading somewhere, I think out in Florence, Massachusetts. I have no idea where it was. I remember it distinctly. But what was cool is right across the back window of the truck, he had a giant Playmobil sticker, and the truck looked like a giant toy, and that also really stuck with me. Andy went on to marry my sister, and I've known Andy my whole life, and not too long ago, Andy actually passed away, and it was pretty tough, but we loved the guy, missed the guy, and he bravely served his community for 23 years, and I just wanted to give a little hat tip to Andy, as I used to say to him all the time. He was shiny. He would know what that means, don't worry. So, My brother, if you're watching, we miss you and love you. And before I lose it, let's move on to our next topic.
All right, let's do that. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, Playmobil, man. It's good for the family.
So I have a tweet from Julia Alum, and this is something we touched on in a previous episode when we were talking about art.
Yes.
But I think you have an update, right?
I do have an update. So I came across this on Twitter. I think it was during one of the anniversaries, and this illustration really caught my eye. We've talked about it before. There it is, boom, being made, and now I have it here. I'm just waiting for Amazon to deliver my frame, and then I'm going to put it up, and it's going to go, what do you think, Ryan? Right about there? I think right about there, man. But so definitely follow JZ Alum, ALLUM on Twitter, and I mean, believe me, this is the very tip of the Saturn V, right? I mean, she's got a lot of illustrations. Yeah. They are not all Apollo or space. She's got some beautiful work. So
it's amazing.
Let's support artists who are working from home and are developing their craft. And Julia is a great example of that. So I know we called her out a couple of episodes ago. I wanted to do that again today because I actually got it in the mail, and it's beautiful, and it's signed and it's numbered and all of that.
Thank you, Julia, for your art. I'm amazed by it as well. It reminds me of a print, which I don't know if you have hanging, but I had sent you a print where of the Enterprise from a IMAX. Anytime you go to IMAX, or when we used
it's in a frame downstairs in my house right now.
When we used to go to movies, IMAX would send out these or provide these promotional posters when you go to the midnight premieres, and that one was pretty cool as well. So I love it.
That's cool.
I wanted
Cool.
to say also give you a pro tip. I collect a lot of posters for like gig posters from concerts I go to. And the secret that my wife and I have figured out is that Michaels oftentimes they have posters that are like a standard size for like a gig poster. And for many of these prints are made in different standard sizes, right? All the way up to like what you call the D size for like a full blown movie poster. And Michaels carries these nice, they're not, they're pre-made. They have a plastic, insert for the face, but they look like real wood, but they're probably not, right? But you can get them at a substantial discount. So you can buy like multiple of them, line them up on your wall, that sort of thing. So that's a pro tip for everybody.
So good pro tip. So her print is actually an A4. I'm going to grab my camera for a second. And if you look over on my Jesus. If you look over on my wall here, you'll see I've got a whole bunch of these Tintin A4 prints. And lo and behold, Julius fits perfectly. You can see there. So, and these, funny enough, got them at Michael's. So you're absolutely right. Great point, buddy. Great point. A4.
All right. What are we going to next?
So we're talking a little bit about toys and fun. Well, we're definitely not going back to this ugly mug. I can tell you that. We're going to go on to Mark Yates. I want to talk a little bit about this guy. So I discovered Mark. I follow a lot of people who talk about toys and Transformers and the 80s and all of that stuff, right? I mean, I just absolutely love all of that stuff, clearly. And so I've stumbled across this guy, Mark Yates. And Mark has a toy museum in the UK. And if we go to, if you bring up that tweet I was telling you about.
Yep. Hang on one sec.
He is a TV and radio toy expert, a toy museum curator, retailer to the stars, collector of tech and toys. He's a handlebar mustache owner and aficionado. And he's just a great guy. And so while he was on lockdown, quarantine, sorry, I don't know what different people call it, different places. He's been doing this Toy of the Day show. And he just recently wrapped it, and he wrapped it, by the way, by doing an incredible display of Star Wars toys. But he did this one on Star Trek, and I just got a huge kick out of this. And two things. First of all, Mark puts a lot of effort into these videos. Go back, take the time to go through his stuff and check it out. This one particularly was hilarious because at one point he pretends to be on the phone with his mother, and he says, basically like, "Mom, I got to go." Yeah, it's a Star Trek. So I've been saying that constantly. It's a Star Trek. It's a Star Trek.
I love it.
But here's the thing about Mark.
I love that he called in to his mother with an actual communicator.
He did. Whoa. There we go. I got it right there. So the thing about Mark is he puts a ton of effort into these little episodes. But as you can see, his museum and collection is amazing. So just take the time, follow Mark, and I'm hoping that someday, Ryan, you and I can actually have Mark on the show, and we could just riff about toys and talk to him more about his collection and how it was built, because I would really love to learn that. So, Mark, if you get a chance to see this and you'd be willing to join us, we'd love to have a chance to talk to you and get more people to follow your wonderful content. So, there you go, Ryan.
That is awesome. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not wearing my full blown olden times beard right now. No. But I can appreciate a good mustache.
Yeah, you're a little almost Showtime, as we like to say, but you're more Friday afternoon. Anyway, check out Mark Yates on Twitter, folks. If you can't find him, let me know. I'll connect you. Great account, great guy, and I think he deserves a lot more attention than he's getting.
Yeah, so you can find him here, Mark Y. I think it's Mark Y for Mark Yates. Mark Y Collector on Twitter.
Yep. Cool.
All righty.
It's a Star Trek.
It's a Star Trek. Well, let's transition. Let's talk about since Star Trek is both TV and film. Yep. I think we have a couple of shout outs we wanted to do with some of the film related, TV show related stuff that you and I are both enjoying this week.
Yep. You want to start?
I will start.
I'm
All right.
talking too much. You go.
No, I was doing all the talking last week, so we got to take turns here. So this is something really cool. I've been going down the rabbit hole of trying to find all of the Baby Yoda content I can possibly find on the internet, and
Go on.
at this point, there's a lot. Now, something that I wasn't really familiar with, but there's something called the ATX. That's Austin, Texas, for the uninitiated. The ATX Festival, TV festival, and this is like everything with COVID. It was an in-person event in Austin, Texas, around TV shows, and of course they had to go virtual. So what I found, though, what they explained, what the organizers, when you start this video, what they explain, which is really neat here, Caitlin and Emily very humbly talk about how they actually benefited from making this virtual because they got these amazing panels from people that were able to call in virtually.
And why don't you play that while you're talking so we get a better look? It's a little blurry. Even though there's no audio, just let it roll. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So hashtag TV together. And Caitlin here was really just like flabbergasted, right? That they put together a panel for The Mandalorian, which is led by a guy from Vanity Fair. But if I jump ahead here, you're going to see that they, similar to the actual series, the behind the scenes series that Disney Plus has been doing, they have a handful of the directors plus Favreau, and it's amazing. And so I'm the kind of guy who I live and breathe a lot of this Star Wars stuff, but even better, I love to hear about the filmmaking. I love to hear about the behind the scenes. And they go into the difference between this and the polished Disney Plus series that they have. The Disney Plus series has roundtables where they talk about a lot of the technical bits and bytes and a lot of the inspiration and a lot of the stuff like that. On this, they really go into some of the funny, like sort of inside jokes, some of the side stories, some of the things that you didn't get in the polished production, which I just, it's really fun to listen to. And this is about a 40-minute panel, which is, so it's not, it's pretty fun to watch.
I love it. That's a super cool share.
So everybody check out, you can see this on their YouTube, on the ATX Festival channel. They also are posting content on social media with hashtag TV Together. And this is the ATX TV Festival from the Couch Edition.
Wow, this is the way.
It is.
Super cool. All right. So let me just go ahead and play the sound one more time.
Here we go.
Okay. So I love what Josh Gad has been doing, which is his Reunited Apart series. And not only is it really cool, but he raises money for great causes. But this is a particularly fantastic episode. So this is where they did, and they've done Lord of the Rings and Goonies and Back to the Future. And then they did this one, which was Ghostbusters. And it is just, 30 minutes or so? This might be a preview, but the full episode is so much fun. And you learn things you never learned, but I want to point out one thing that occurred in the episode and make sure everybody understands. So this is Ivan Reitman, the director of the original film. You can see in the upper middle there is his son, Jason. Now, Jason is the director of the new film that's coming out, Ghostbusters Afterlife, which has been rescheduled for next year. Man, I am extremely excited about this film. If you have not seen the trailer to Ghostbusters Afterlife, go see it. It's everything that a Ghostbusters fan is hoping for. But at one point during this episode, Jason makes a comment about working on a sequel, and people really misunderstood this. They thought he was talking about a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife is a sequel to the original two films. And by the way, I love the 2016 version, but this is a sequel to Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Right. So when you watch the episode, just keep that in mind. What he's talking about is the film that is currently slated for release. But this is a great episode, and I really want to recommend that people check it out. If you're working, you just need something kind of running in the background, Reunited Apart is a great thing to listen to, and Josh does wonderful work raising money for important causes, and it's just fun to see these people back together. So, but P.S., the amount of trivia that they themselves got wrong in this episode is truly hilarious. So another good reason to watch it. Good thing to
Well, it's amazing to see these folks, not just, it's obviously we're all excited, I think, to have them come back together and work on new films. But hearing what they remember, hearing what was important to them when they were making it, having the flubs of not remembering, it's all endearing. It's all awesome. And
Couldn't agree more.
What reminds me of is after I watched that Mandalorian panel from the the ATX festival, I went down the rabbit hole of, I found a similar series that is being done with table reads. So some of these a little bit different from Reunited Apart is some of these casts from TV and film are getting together to do a table read of like a past episode. So I love the comedy series Community.
Oh yeah,
and it's 10 years old now, over 10 years old now. I think they got together recently for raising money to provide food and support for people during COVID. And what they did was a table read replicating an episode. And they actually had,
that's cool.
The guy that plays the Mandalorian, Pascal, they had him come on to fill in for a part. And it was the episode where Pierce dies and they're all reflecting on his will and that sort of thing. But it was hilarious because it was the whole cast. They got back together and they were talking about how they are watching the episodes again and just realizing how special of a time that was, because many folks like Donald Glover and all of them were sort of just starting out in the business together.
I love it.
It was a really magical time. And you can just tell that all of the, the scrappiness of he referred to it as it's like a punk show because it was very different from a show like Parks and Recs.
Cool. Let's see what Dr. Venkman has to say.
The city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty appropriate for 2020. All right, next.
Yeah. Prophetic. All right.
Next we're gonna talk some comics next.
Yeah.
So this is cool. So this is where Twitter just does some wonderful stuff. So I was recently somebody that I follow, I think it was Evan Kirstel, posted a picture recently of this gorgeous steam engine from the 30s.
Yep.
And I had made, and I know this is not the 30s, and I'll get to what this is in a second. And I had made a comment. I've actually been making the comment for years that I thought it would be really cool for Michael Bay or whoever to do a series about Transformers that takes place during the golden age of steam. Yeah. So in the late 20s, in the 30s and 40s, where you have a really heavy hitting Art Deco streamlined, something like this, right? Streamlined looking engine. This is the Mallard, fastest steam engine on Earth. And have a really cool Autobot called Firebox, right?
Nerd
and then
alert.
You'd have a whole nerd alert, total nerd alert. And somebody was like, hey man, if you want to read a book about Transformers that are steam engines and stuff, read Transformers Hearts of Steel, which you can see I'm holding in my hand, and is on the screen in front of you. Transformers Evolution Hearts of Steel. This is a really cool book. This one book comprises the series. I think it was like 3 or 4 episodes. And it takes place in the 18-somethings, not in the 30s, but it takes place a long time ago. And it's really cool. Like, for example, Bumblebee is like a steam hammer that builds railroads. There's a steam engine. There's an airship. I'm not going to tell you who's who. But there's some really cool stuff. Your favorites are in there. The people you think are the Transformers you think are going to be in there. The gentleman in the middle is a guy named John Henry, really cool character. Befriends Bumblebee. Just some really cool stuff. So if you like Transformers, you like comics, you're looking for something really different, you can find this on Amazon. It's not that much. I think it was like $20 or something. but a really cool series. And then what's really great is in the back, they have all the concept drawings as they were trying to work through what they were going to do to make these, to sort of put these familiar characters into a different age. So great share, great thing to read, great thing to talk about. Transformers Evolutions, Hearts of Steel.
I love it. Well, and I'm going to challenge folks. I know Amazon is convenient, especially when we're at home like we are. However, I just made a trip to my local comic book shop here in Raleigh last night for the first time since, I guess, late February. And I have a subscription box. If you don't know, I've been collecting comics since I was probably 10 years old. And here's the fun fact. My first comic book that I collected from a neighbor down the street, I was like trading bubble gum or something. It was when Transformers, the toys, first came out. I think my first Transformer toy, by the way, was the Army Jeep Autobot named Hound.
Oh, yeah, I remember Hound.
And I remember that vividly because he was just, they were, the toys, the original ones were just so cool. Well, I think they call them like, Gen 1 or something now. I don't keep up with
Gen 1, that's right.
But Transformers was the first comic book that I collected, and G.I. Joe, obviously, back in those days. That was
super cool. Hey, you want to see something really cool?
Early 80s. But I went to my local comic book shop, and I want to give a shout out to them. Their name.
Take us off this. Put us back in full screen so we can see what you're going to show, because that's really cool.
Yeah. So we have a comic shop here in. They have locations in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Durham, Ultimate Comics, and they're the outfit that organizes NC Comic Con every year. I got this book. I always get my bag with my normal sort of things that I collect, like Batman or whatever. But I noticed this book.
So you mean you go to the store and you've got like your own thing, and they put the stuff that you're supposed to get, and then you go and pick it up. That's cool.
That's how the pros do it, Graham. It's called a sub box. So I go there, and it's like VIP, like, oh, it's you, Mr. Rab.
Mr. Rab.
They hand me a stack of comic books, which my wife doesn't like the price tag of. However, I don't miss an episode, right, or an issue. I noticed this because of the quote. A great effed up blend of James Bond and Tintin apparently is an endorsement by Keanu Reeves.
Interesting.
So I don't know what it is. I literally picked it up last night. Mm-hmm. But it appears to be a black man who's a secret agent who is doing stuff. Bang.
I love this. And
it's put out by Dark Horse, which I love Dark Horse.
I love Dark Horse comics, man.
So
I got one more comic to show you. This is my original copy. How do I get this so it doesn't look terrible? Well, there we go. That's about as good as I can do. Of Transformers #1. This is the very first Transformers comic. I've got it in like a special case.
Well, you're making me jealous.
It's actually a real deal.
All of the stuff that I collected back originally, all the G.I. Joe stuff, all the Transformers stuff. I traded my entire collection to start my X-Men collection. So I don't have to do that.
I'll tell you. There's rumors that I can't remember if it's Walmart or somebody is going to start reissuing the original G.I. Joe toy. Well, not the original. The G.I. Joe toys from the 80s. They're going to start reissuing them in the same boxes, same art, same quality, same everything. Kind of like some of the ones you and I have seen. And I know they did a reissue of the G1 Transformers. You and I went to that store and man, it feels like 1,000 years ago, San Francisco, wherever it was, where they showed us the brands that actually reissue toys. Right. Man, I love that.
Super, yeah, give us a shout out. I want to give, that's what, Super 7.
Super 7. All right, take us out. You got one more share. I think it's a board game.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, here's Dark Horse. So I have one more share, which is, let me flip back. So I have been trying to figure out this is a little bit of like maybe considering like what's everyone doing for Father's Day. I mean, getting outside is a priority. However, I just picked up this. Do you remember these?
Oh my god, I love Choose Your Own Adventure. Who killed Harlow Thromby? It like blew my mind away when I was a kid.
This is a
Dude.
a card game. So all of the
I love how you're just like pouring it onto your desk.
well,
That's
all of
awesome, Ryan.
so they've sort of changed the pages of the book into a card game, which is really interesting. And there's a board where you roll dice and you determine like your this is the coolest thing. You memorize the clues, then you go through the game trying to remember the clues, and you have a danger meter and a psychic scale. So it's really fun.
Shouldn't that really be pronounced Dangeometer?
There you go. That's what I'm calling it from now on.
Ryan, that is super cool, buddy. What a fun game. Is it possible? I wonder if I got the same thing, could we play it remotely together?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Because all you're doing is reading the cards, just like you're reading the book, and you're making decisions. So it's actually a collaborative game. You're not playing against people. That's the neat thing about it.
I love it. Man, what a lot of fun. We shared a lot of cool stuff today.
Yeah. So I have something to close us out with here. Okay. I want to flip over back.
Board game check. Sorry, just checking off our agenda here. My incredible handwriting.
So let me add this back in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Check it. So when this was literally about a year ago this week, wasn't it?
Oh man, I think so. Yeah.
Because we were in Germany for work. It was the first time we had been traveling internationally, I think, since we went to Barcelona when we first met, actually. So this was on Father's Day last year. And we were sitting at a cafe somewhere in Berlin. I don't even know where. We had met my friend Tessa.
We're at a beer garden. Yep.
She's my friend Tessa, who, by the way, status update, she came home. She's actually working in New York now. So shout out for Tessa, at Tessa on Twitter. But check out the T-shirt. This is what I wanted to give the shout out to.
I see it.
So that's a Super 7 T-shirt. And it has, I had put out a challenge to see who could name all of the spaceships, but it's essentially a big diagram or sort of an art piece of all kinds of different spaceships from different science fiction TV shows, movies, all kind, video games. Really fun shirt. So that was what I wanted to tie back to the beginning here.
I can see a probe droid, Star Destroyer, X-Wing.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones in there.
All sorts of stuff there. Yeah.
There's some Buck Rogers.
Very cool. Man, that was fun. I miss traveling with you, buddy. It's feels like a million years ago at this point.
Do virtual glass clink here with my Monster, energy soda.
And I'll do one with my beloved polar seltzer that I drink a disgusting amount of. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers to you, buddy. And cheers to all the other fathers out there. So
yes, cheers to the dads.
Father's Day is coming up this weekend. It's probably a little different for a lot of people to celebrate that. But it's, I think, more important than ever that you find a way to somehow come together with your family when there's so much going on.
Yeah. Here. Happy Father's Day to you, Ryan.
You too. All righty. Well, that's our show.
Wait, before we go, let's capture you know how I like to capture our faces once in a while and then use the picture. Right. Let's capture our Friday feeling faces. So let's give it a thought. Okay. Give it a thought. We'll go for Friday faces in 3. Whoops. Whoa. Hit a wrong button here. We'll go for Friday faces in 3, 2, 1. All right. That's our Friday faces.
I'm just doing
Let me make sure I got it. Stand by. Enhance. Did I get it?
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, I got it.
All righty.
Looks like I'm losing a tooth, but that's all right. All right, buddy. Anyway, this was a lot of fun. Weeks end with Ryan, with you, buddy, always makes me feel better. I have no idea if anybody actually watches this, but it's just fun to collaborate.
I think we have upward. We have tens of fans now. So,
Tens. Wow.
yeah, it's really starting to take off.
That's great. That's great. I'm ready for our sponsors.
Anyhow, you guys, you can catch this show if you're already watching. You know this. We're on the Twitters, we're on YouTube, and we're also, I think, we're on Facebook. So wherever you choose to consume your mindless drivel,
Facebook. But go on.
well, yeah, we'll see.
I know.
You know what I'm doing?
You don't have to go there.
Here's a tech request for all of the social media nerds out there. We love StreamYard, but it doesn't have a feature to live stream to Instagram. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining the show. We'll see you next time on Week Soon.
See ya. Definitely wanna be ya. Yeah.